Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this morning. There will be a minute's silence all UEFA games this week. UEFA put an announcement on their website last night that UEFA are to hold a moment's silence for the victims of the floods of the Valencia region. UEFA will hold a moment's silence to all UEFA club competition matches this week in memory of the victims of the deadly floods in the Valencia region, whose impacted the region and beyond. Some games were cancelled at the weekend. People in Spain are saying that all games should have been cancelled with respects to what is going on, and it looks like Barcelona have been hit badly over the last 24 hours also, so let's hope that it's okay up there. Nico Kuhn has been making headlines throughout Europe with regards to his performances in not only for Celtic in the league but in the Champions League. A Sky News reporter has taken to Twitter after reporting it on Sky News, and he said that several Premier League clubs have already inquired about Nicholas Kuhn, thanks to his strong performances at Celtic FC. So far this season, he has scored 7 goals and provided 10 assists across all competitions. Up next is the crucial Champions League match against RB Leipzig. He is under contract until 2029. With the price valuation of over €10 million, the 24-year-old right winger is definitely one to watch for the summer transfer window. And that was Florian Plettenberg, German Sky News reporter. And is it been the case that the Sky News reporter has maybe been tipped off by an agent, an over-exuberant agent who's maybe thinking, I could get a good payout from my player moving this summer, and that's what usually happens. I mean, I think Nico Kuhn does have that lengthy contract at Celtic. Celtic fans will not be want to see the player go. I, for one, definitely don't. I think that we should be building a team. I think that we've finally got a chance, and I think that the Celtic board finally understand that selling our best players on a yearly basis, and although it's good for the bank balance, and let's face it, we're sitting with over £77 million in the bank and the Champions League money still to come in, the accounts will look good going into next year. So I don't think that we need to be selling any of our top players in the summer. I definitely don't want to see any of them leaving. I think that we should be building on what we have for the first time ever at Celtic. We won't be taking a step backward. But when it comes to the game tonight, we do play RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Now, RB Leipzig have been top of the table, looking down on everyone else in Germany. They are sitting in the when it comes to the Champions League, they haven't had the best of starts, losing their first 3 games. Leipzig currently sit 31st in the Champions League, having lost their 3 games. And Celtic, we all know what happened on day 1 of the Champions League. We've got off to a fantastic start. We'll forget about what happened in Germany. And then we travelled to Atalanta, where we got a hard-fought draw. And it was a fantastic result when you see what the Italians have done to teams after we have played them and beforehand. RB Leipzig and Celtic are no strangers on the European stage. Brendan Rodgers was talking about it yesterday, and I think that who will come out on top? Well, it's going to be a hard-fought game. They do have some niggling injury doubts, but when it comes to it, it's at Celtic Park. When the Champions League music starts tonight, I think that every man will make that much noise at Celtic Park. Hopefully it will give the Germans a little bit of a frightener. And yes, they are used to playing at stadiums where the ultras make a lot of noise, but I don't think that they've heard a full stadium. I think there's a difference between an ultras section making a noise, the yellow wall and such in Germany, to the full stadium at Celtic Park going absolutely ballistic before the game starts, drowning out the Champions League music. And then when they start singing "Come On You Boys in Green," the echoes around the stadium and the full stadium takes part in it. It can be spine chilling, and players cannot hear themselves talking to each other. So let's just hope that we can get some kind of performance that matches the performance of what we did against Aberdeen. Will there be any changes for the game? I don't think so. I think it'll be Kasper Schmeichel in goals. I think it'll be Alistair Johnston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Trusty and Alex Bailly at the back. And then you're going to have McGregor's in midfield, the whole midfield role with Arne Engels and Rio Hitati sitting further forward. And then you're going to have the Mr. Duracell himself. And I think, could Dyson Maida be on the verge, or it's going to be close this season? There aren't any standout players that you're thinking. I mean, for most improved player on last year, I think that Nico Kuhn will get that at the end of the season. I called it right when I said that last season. I said that Liam Scales would end up being most improved player by the end of the season, and I still stand by that, even though we sold a player for 25 million who was just so reliable the last season when it comes to goals. I think that Nico Kuhn will be our most improved player this season, but for player of the season, I think it could come down to Dyson Maida and Nico Kuhn. It is early on in the season, but just going on current performances so far. Anyway, they'll be the two wingers, and I think that the manager will start with Kyogo, because he'll look to start and he'll look to try and draw out the Germans. They are quite a fast attacking team football, and when they do their fast attacking football, it leaves gaps at the back, and I think that that'll work well for the wingers and Kyogo. If you remember the pace when Kyogo went down just in the midfield, and just before he scored the goal, Dyson Maida then runs up the wing at the weekend. Kyogo gets off his backside and sprints like nobody's business into the box, unsighted by the defenders, to get onto the end of the ball that Dyson Maida puts in and gets into the back of the net. I think that type of football is what Brendan Rodgers will be looking for this evening at Celtic Park, and I think if we can get an early goal, all the better. I don't think it's going to be a big scoring game. Some people have been putting out some crazy predictions. I think it'll be a close game, if anything. I can't see it being a 4 or 5-0, or maybe a 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section, what you think the scoreline will be this evening, and tell me if you're going to the game and how much you're looking forward to it. And another sort of Celtic headlines, RB's Leipzig official website loads 4 Celtic players for the Champions League. Alex Valle to keep his place. A lot of people are going with the fact that Greg Taylor will be dropped. People were saying last night on the live, if Greg Taylor is dropped again, is the writing on the doors for Greg Taylor, whose birthday it is today. So happy birthday, Greg, who is 27 years old. I don't want to see Greg Taylor go, but at 27, he in a Brendan Rodgers team who wants fast attacking players, and we don't know the current situation. We can only all add to the speculation that we can go on what happened last year, and I think we spoke about that enough when David Turnbull was sold, when he was running into the last 6 months of his contract. I do not think that Celtic will allow Greg Taylor to walk away for nothing, especially when they value him at $7.5 million. But Greg Taylor said when he was linked with Celtic and when he signed for Celtic, as soon as I knew Celtic's interest, I was desperate to come. So it's been a great day now that it's done. And that was Greg Taylor on the day that he signed. He's been a fantastic player, and he is a fantastic player for Celtic. I don't want to be pressed as if he's gone already. We all know the situation and what it is, but I think that if he is sold, we'll look back and say, I mean, he was such an improved player under Ange Postecoglou. And I just think that has he reached the heights that he can get? There are obviously things going on in the background that we don't know about. Anyway, tell me your predictions in the comment section, what you think the score will be tonight. It's going to be a hard-fought game. I can't wait to see the lights coming on and the fans going absolutely ballistic. At the end of the day, we have Arne Engels, our young player, who knows the Germans inside out. Can he take advantage of that? Although he said it is a much changed team from any time he's played them before. Well, at Celtic Park, let's do it. Let's just do it, and let's push on in this Champions League and try and get to the position where we stay under that 24th position in the league, so that we get those 2 extra games into the knockout stages for the first time in a very, 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 very long time. Anyway, on that note, make sure you join me for the live 1 hour and 25 minutes before kick-off tonight, when the team will be announced at Celtic Park, and we can talk about any shock changes, if Brendan Rodgers has made any, or will it be as you were, the exact same as the weekend. I think Brendan Rodgers will go with the team from the weekend. And on that note, Have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world.